absolutely. Well, my name is Miryam Valdivia-Romero, as you mentioned. I am a program manager under the Economic Opportunity umbrella that primarily serves small business development through CDBG grants. What is CDBG? CDBG is community. It stands for Community Development Block Grants, and these are grants awarded by the City of Vancouver. So through this funding, we're able to launch different programs and projects that serve entrepreneurs within the City of Vancouver here in Washington. I feel like there is a myriad of impacts depending on what I do for these projects in order to lead these projects. One of my fortes, I would say, is building connections and researching. And when I was hired to lead this program, there was a lot of boots on ground that had to happen. So I engaged with different community partners, people that have had a lot of experience running this type of projects, because we can only speak from our own perspectives and our own lived experiences. So it's important to connect with others to open those horizons, to open our knowledge, to expand our room for learning as well. So I engage with different people that have had experience running incubators and accelerators, serving entrepreneurs. My focus in the beginning was the food incubator. Now we're launching that at the end of this week actually, the end of this week. And so they shared a lot of their best practices, what worked for them, what challenges they encountered, what mistakes they made, which shows a lot of humility and a lot of collaboration, sharing that. So I don't have to fall or to fail per se because of these mistakes. It allowed me to incorporate it into my risk assessment as well. And so given that, I created this food business incubator, BIPOC focused, and try to fill the gaps that I saw other programs had, or maybe assess some of the risks that they encountered, and be able to incorporate it into this program to best serve the communities here in the City of Vancouver. And so that being said, I think diversity, equity, and inclusion is one of our core principles here, and community always comes first. So it's important also to listen to the communities. I mean, first and foremost, to listen to the communities that we serve, to gauge what are the needs, what are really the needs are, because one shoe doesn't fit all. And so trying to get different perspectives, different needs from the community, and try to build that into the program. Maybe it won't cover all the needs, but it will cover the foundational needs. And for me, and I think for the community, it is important, being that I'm a representative of communities of color, of the Latino community, of the immigrant community, as a woman, and also as an entrepreneur, that when someone launches their business, they have a solid foundation and that they can build from. The first step is not the last step. And so empowerment is also one of my core principles to pour into this program. So part of the programs, we serve all under-resourced communities. Because of the CDBG grants, we must serve people under 80% AMI, that's the area median income established by HUD. So these are federal amounts pretty much that we go by. That being said, I feel like when we talk about historically under-resourced communities, we're talking about the BIPOC community. And it is evident, it is to everybody's knowledge, that the system was created for white people. And we can see this historically through policies, through practices. And so when you stand at a start line and you kept benefiting one group and the other one never moved up, so now, right, they're over here and we're over here, we're like back here, So when we talk about accelerating equity for our community, this is our mission at Force Playing Forward. We talk about moving the needle so we can both be on the same start place and we can move forward together. But there's a lot of work that needs to be done. There's a lot of work that needs to be done, not just by me, not just by us, not just by other community organizations. These needs the work from policymakers, from elected officials that the community elected into office. They are public servants. And some of them may not know what under-resourced communities need or BIPOC communities need. So part of this role is making connections, having conversations, building meaningful, genuine relationships. And I'm an advocate at heart. This job didn't make me an advocate. So I'm always going to, if you don't know, I'm going to educate you. If you maybe don't remember, I'm going to remind you, because we have a position to serve our community, to listen to our community, and to relay that message and see how we can work together to make that happen. Still representation. So like we have made some strides towards that, but there's a long way to go. And looking at the makeup of our community, when you see who's representing us, not just in office, but also in the organizations that serve the community, there still needs to be representation. I can speak to one thing primarily, just because it's very aligned with the incubator, with the food business incubator, and that is the cost of the permit fees. There needs to be some assessment on, equitable practices that serve all communities, not just some communities. And this comes down to tax-paying dollars, and this comes down to policy. This comes down to regulations. So when you talk about food safety, and everybody needs to be compliant for the wellness of our community, the food that we're serving, we're safe handling food, and also making these small businesses compliant and ensuring the success and the legality of their business, right? There has to be food permits in place. When you serve under-resourced communities that are in survival mode, they're focusing on putting food on the table, and maybe they want to use some of their skills, their cooking skills, or their family recipe to launch their business, to make more money and provide a little more or a lot more to their family or the people they love, or to themselves. They just want to live a better quality, have a better quality of life, right? Because money is a resource. Money is a tool, and they don't have these resources because A, B, and C. It all comes down to policy, because one can be a really hard worker and really work 2-3 jobs and still is not making enough. How can they succeed in launching their business when these costs are so out of reach? Is there a way to maybe implement a sliding scale? Just like CDBG does, we can only serve people under 80% AMI. Is there a way to implement a sliding scale that would allow under-resourced communities to have that opportunity? That is not so prohibiting into, the things that they need to do, like saving over a year to pay for a food permit for their business. That means they can't launch their business for a year. They may have all the business plan and the skills and the knowledge, but it is the money to get access to these permits that is keeping them sad and still. So that is one thing that I've seen the most, and like people are coming to our commissary kitchen very excited to use it, and they need the food permit in order to use it, and so there's a wait until they can get their permits. So part of the programs that I'll be launching in collaboration with the commissary kitchen is perhaps we can do a food permit scholarship. But that being said, we can only serve so many people. So what happens to the other people that don't get in? They still are dealt or have to deal with the structures that are in place, with the policies that are in place, with the costs that are in place. So how do we address that problem? We don't need a Band-Aid. We need a surgery. And our communities are waiting for that surgery in policymaking, in regulations, in access. Well, the main one that I think I touched on, well, not I think, I definitely touched on, is the Food Business Incubator that's BIPOC focused. That is a 7-month program, 6 to 7 month program, in which there's an application process to that, in that each entrepreneur that wants to launch a business, it's walking, pretty much hand-holding a business advisor/coach. And we're providing them all the tools that they would need to build a foundation for their business so they can launch it. Whether that's tax, legal, thinking about their mission and vision, branding, marketing, where the focus of the business incubator is to teaching them how to fish. If you don't teach people how to fish, then they will always be dependable on someone else. And so it's the key component of the empowering of the business incubator, giving them the tools, but also giving them space, a safe space to apply those tools and to see what works and what doesn't work for their business. Having an advisor or a coach that can guide them through their questions of what didn't work or what worked or what they could be doing, and finding their answers for their own questions. Everybody's different. Everybody's business model is different. Everybody's business type is different. Everybody's mission and vision is different. So, and then they will go from the learning to applying learning, and then once they have all the tools, they'll go into cooking in the commissary kitchen. Then they will have a platform to sell their foods, whether that's a market hosted here at 4th Point Forward, or plugging them in with like other markets, and then at the end they will graduate with a minimum of $3,000 in seed money. That is aside from all the seed money that we are investing in them during the program, because they would need to like build their own website, they will need to use the commissary kitchen, and that the program would fund that cost as well, since the commissary kitchen operates separately from 4th Point Forward or the incubator. So that is one program. I'm really excited about it. Our orientation is this week. Everybody's so pumped. Everybody was so excited when they got the news. The next program is Business Connect. Business Connect has been running very at a slow pace last year, since like late August of last year, and it's a general technical assistance for small businesses. So Business Connect has two components. The second one that is launching next month. It is the general TA, in which people reach out to us, we follow up, we make an assessment, and we guide them through their questions, give them technical assistance, or if it's not our area of expertise, we'll refer them out to a trusted partner. And the second component is a monthly seminars that will touch on different topics of entrepreneurship. The first one that we're having is in February, and these monthly seminars will be the first week of the month in English, the last week of the month in Spanish. Same topic, just English and Spanish. So February will be business taxes and licensing, and then March we have the food safety department offering a presentation, and I'm really excited that they're able to offer it in Spanish as well. So we have a lot of need in the community for like that navigation of the process, and maybe people think that they need a permit when they actually do not. So that will be really good. We're hoping to under Business Connect to host some office hours where some staff from the health department, the food safety department, they will be here at Fourth Point Forward offering some guidance for people that want to stop by. And then I mentioned the scholarship collaboration between the kitchen and the programs, the CDBG programs. And also, I can't really speak of it right now, but we are hoping to launch quarterly events that will be highlighting small businesses. So as a way to promote small businesses, as a way to be a learning opportunity as well, we're hoping to highlight successful businesses in different industries that share their best practices, their challenges, share some recommendations for the people coming in, or maybe people that are wanting to grow as well. And at the same time, we offer a platform to highlight their business. So it's a two-part: it's educational and it's also empowering and uplifting on both ends. For asking that question, because it's truly important when it comes to using funds from CDBG or CDBG funds. When we talk about, we serve as of this moment, as of right now until mid-year, we use CDBG funds from City of Vancouver. These means that City of Vancouver has given us grants to use to launch this small business development programs. And these funds must be used towards those households because City of Vancouver has its own funds separate from Clark County. So some people may live in Vancouver, but it does not mean that they live within the City of Vancouver jurisdiction. They could live under Clark County jurisdiction. That means if there is a person that lives in Vancouver and under Clark County jurisdiction at this time, we are unable to use those funds towards them. They can come to us absolutely for technical assistance, and if I have the tools to guide them right there, I will. If I don't, I will refer them out. But for the incubator, for example, it only serves City of Vancouver households, residents. We hope to be awarded grants from Clark County to be able to include Clark County residents for the incubator applications. We had quite a few Clark County applicants, and unfortunately we couldn't serve them because of the requirements of the grant. So we truly hope that we can offer the services, all of them, to Clark County residents. Now that being said, for the seminars, anybody can attend them. I have people registered from Oregon. Because it's a large group, City of Vancouver people should come, Clark County people can come. Whoever wants to benefit from these seminars, they're welcome. Yeah. I think in order to have surgery, like when you put a Band-Aid, and I'm going back to that metaphor, when you put a Band-Aid, you can put it yourself. When you have surgery, you need a team. And we're stronger together, because without someone assisting with the tools, the surgeon can't perform surgery. Without the anesthesiologist, the patient will be awake. And I'm just touching on 2 roles or 3 roles. We're talking about a team, and not just a staff team. I'm talking about community team. And so we truly believe that we're stronger together. So I can work and design these programs, and I can meet with business owners, but I think it's a three-part support. One, that I already have it with my amazing team, that we support each other all the time. I think that I would not be able to do it alone. Nobody can do it alone. Or maybe we could, but we will be stressed out and burnt out. Two, with our collaborators, that means our trusted partners, the partners in our community, working to do the same thing. We're working to accelerate the equity in our community, working to serve the people that have been forgotten for a long time, under-resourced for a long time, not because they wanted to, because like it was, what we talked about. And within that community are policymakers, because they are part of our communities. Otherwise, they wouldn't have been able to have been elected. So, advocating, truly thinking about the policies that they push, that they support, and how the representatives of the community that they serve, that we serve. And then 3 is funding. One person can't move the needle by itself. One organization can't move the needle by itself, and if it does, they need capacity to do that. So really thinking about when we talk about equitable practices, is equitable practices for the services we offer to advance equity in our community, but also building the capacity in order to do that. Otherwise, it's just a vicious cycle, because people of color can't work without capacity in order to serve under-resourced communities. Otherwise, the problems that you are trying to fix, they're just replicated in the own organization or within the own organization, because of lack of funding. So I think that it's a 3-piece. One is collaboration, the other one is policymaking, and then funding. So I was hired to launch the incubator, and I think the incubator was already in the minds of people, trying to see what they could do, in this space with the commissary kitchen, to really put it to use and serve the community. So that was before my, that was before my hiring. So I guess I just picked up the pieces, the ideas, and did the homework. Because it was just on an idea stage. There would be an incubator that would provide seed money. That's it. There was some research done about what partners we could work with, or maybe some vendors like contractors on curriculum we could work with, something that is very effective for entrepreneurs, and that was a really good, I would say, a good foundation to start from. And then I just started connecting, and then just started gathering information and learning and putting pieces together to launch the incubator. It was like when I said boots on ground, it was legit boots on ground. I was on the go all the time, to be able to offer the info session, to put a structure together, offer the info session late October, and start recruiting in November, for a launch date of January. So I think it has, since its inception, August, 6 months? And then for the Business Connect was supposed to be a less than traditional technical assistance program, in which would, kind of like what I mentioned, we would guide people or refer people. Now, due to capacity, which I mentioned, as a program manager, I don't have the capacity or the bandwidth to serve every single person that comes for technical assistance on every single aspect. So that's why I incorporated the monthly seminars. Because people that come, I'd rather have people come together and learn from a legal expert, or come together and learn from a tax advisor, or come together and learn from branding, marketing, all of those topics, right? And come in and learn from someone very experienced in that field, and ask questions and get those questions answered, rather than get a call or 2 calls every single day about those topics and having to refer out because as much as I can guide someone or provide guidance and assistance, it is not my field of, knowledge, expertise. So I rather bring those people here in the community space, the event space here at the community commons, and at the same time have the opportunity to build community, to bring entrepreneurs from different areas, from different fields, not just food, to learn and ask their questions and network and get to know each other. So I think that was the best way to provide a technical assistance, to get those questions answered and build community at the same time. So that's how Business Connect came to be. In my previous roles, not with 4.4, with previous employers, I've had experience launching seminars, launching workshops. Most of them were virtual, a couple of them were in person, and we want to have in-person events here to bring people together. Eventually, maybe we'll move to maybe offering one virtual event, but we want to keep going with that in-person events. I think it's important. People need to be socialized. Social interaction really builds up people, makes people feel supported. So, and who doesn't want to feel supported, especially in this journey of entrepreneurship, which sometimes can feel lonely. So I feel like short-term goals would be within the next 7 months this year for sure, will be to see my first cohort of graduates of the incubator. I'm so excited for that already. To have people really take advantage of this community events. At the end of the day, I'm calling community events because they are building community in entrepreneurship, but they're building community. And so for the next year, and I can't, it's really contingent on funding, but we hope to be able to offer this incubator with a bilingual component, being Spanish, given that the largest population, BIPOC population within City of Vancouver, it is Latinx, Latine, Hispanic. And so we hope to be offering that for the next round of the incubator, among with other projects that are in the works, and again they're contingent on funding, but that they promise to advance opportunity for entrepreneurs in City of Vancouver and maybe outside of City of Vancouver. Like I said, one of my fortes is researching and really learning and just gathering information from everywhere to build something that is foundational and that at its core, serves to fill in the gaps of what people need. So that being said, I am certain that these programs will advance opportunity and equity at the same time for the people in our community. Now, talking about future goals, maybe like 3-5 years from now, I see this area with food pots and food halls where people can get together, entrepreneurs can sell their stuff, building an association for that where people can gather and collaborate with each other, not just within the food community but other industries as well. The projects that I have in mind, they're not focused on food incubator. Like the food incubator is just for food businesses. These other programs will cover other industries. So try to be inclusive in that aspect as well. Call me idealistic, but hello, welcome to Miryam 101. It all comes to the mind. When you say you can. When you say you can't, you already made that decision. So we can do it. We just need the right people, the right components, the right mindset, the right energy, and the right type of effort. Intentional.